I'd like us to do a check on our drawing. So I'm going to spotlight this. Here's the picture in, here's my picture. Come on, you. Might have to bring this down just a little bit. I'm doing a little last minute troubleshooting on my piece. And I encourage you to do the same. I was noticing here that there's a slight, I have her breast kind of coming too far to the edge here. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I was like, I think I can thicken this just a touch. I'm thinking I can thicken her waist here. I'm seeing that the breast kind of stops here and there's a little bit of the side. It comes in and then it goes out. So that's where that little dip, I was like, it was a little bit too straight. And I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So on this side, it comes out a little bit wider, comes in and out. Look at how subtle that is. And how much that connects the kind of what's happening with the hip. And then I thought I need to make the hip just a touch wider. So I want you to take a look at your piece and see if there's anything. I need to bring the crotch up just a little bit higher. I'm just doing these last minute checks on my piece. If you're not sure, try to take a guess. Send it over to me. You can send it over to me. I can take a look. But if you can see these last minutes kind of shifts. Notice I really don't have much detail on the fingers. With the size that this is, we're not going to really spend much time on features. It's really going to be on painting bigger body parts. I know my knee is over here. I know there's like tiny bits.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Diana. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Hi.
We're just finishing up. Those of us who are working are just doing kind of our last minute sketches. Yeah. And make sure you're darks. So that's kind, I just kind of, you know, nuanced a little bit my drawing. So go ahead and spend a moment doing that, unless you're working on something else. But I think most people here have done this.
Hey, Leah, yeah. Pat says she's having trouble getting in.
Yeah, I don't really know what to tell her. Let me check. That's a Pat issue. Yeah, thanks. Isn't it? Ah, nice. Yeah. These are good drawings, by the way, you guys. I'm pleased. Yeah, Olga, I think that's, I feel, what do I feel? Is there anything? What's, Olga, what are these B lines going up here?
The lines of the leg?
Yeah, no? It's not really doing that. There's a little bit of a line that kind of stops here. There's a line that comes up here, but not on this side.
Okay, I will erase it.
Yeah,
but I think the legs are too big.
What's that?
I think her legs like too big, like
maybe a touch, but they look actually okay to me. Yeah. If you want to adjust it, go ahead and adjust it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Natalia, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna. All right, let me just forward this to Pat, and then I'm gonna, then after this I stop. doing things that are not class related. Let's see. So make your last minute changes, and then we'll talk about colors, which is really neat. There we go. Nina. So Nina, I think you're, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. What's going on here? Something seems off with your proportions, Nina. Let me look.
It looks really, I don't.
4, 5. Oh, you have, this is an 8. This is an 8-head person. You have 7
Okay.
heads. That's the problem. You need to add an extra head on the bottom, and then if you remember correctly, hang on, I think I have the old. Yes, I do. Hold on. I'm gonna take a picture of the old sketch so you can see the measurements.
Okay. Oh, and I thought she was too tall. Okay.
So you can see that she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads. Okay, you have 7. So your feet are really tiny. The feet should actually, you need to add an extra head on the bottom here and extend the legs.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the real problem, the biggest problem. Also, Nina, your arm is way too skinny on this side. You put it up here. Here, wait, I'll show it to you on this thing. I'll draw it. You put it here. See that? Oh, see that? You put it here. It's really down here. You've made it skinny.
Okay.
See my
Oh,
point?
yeah. She looks like she's
yeah.
got like, okay.
Yeah. So this is where you have to stop thinking you know what is happening. Even though this is a really slender model, there are parts in a really slender model that are going to be wide. One of them is always this shoulder to armpit measurement. So always kind of get that that's going to be wider than you think it is. We'll just spend a couple minutes doing these corrections. Anybody else working? I'm not going to spend too much time.
I'm going to try to finish my green lady.
And I had sent you what I did, Leah, as well.
Okay, let's see. Your green lady, very nice. Natalia, that looks great. Pat, looks great. Yes, Andy. I feel Andy, I feel you're gonna have trouble painting her because her limbs are a little thin. So notice the same thing. You have her arm kind of coming up here. It's really this armpit is kind of here, and it's wider here too. So the arm's pretty wide at the top. And you want to make sure you get that. It's narrower at the bottom, but it's wider at the top. So here, make that narrower. And it's the same, yeah, so Andy, I feel like she's just generally skinnier. Let's see if I can figure out some places to. So yeah, her hips are wider. Let's see, one. Yeah, her hips are literally almost two heads. If you put the head on its side, it's literally two heads wide. So Andy, yours is about a head and a half. So you want to widen her hips out on this side and this side, and that's going to bring out the width in the appropriate width in the legs. Sorry.
Made it.
Yeah. Hey there.
Hello. That's different than
happened?
the link I had.
Yeah, Pat, it's been the same link every time. Every single time. I haven't
No, I
changed the
have.
link.
I'll show you the email if you'd like me to, Leah.
All right.
I'm not in a good mood now.
Me neither. How's that? I think your drawing, well, this might put you in a good mood. I think your drawing is looking pretty good. I'm
Thank you.
having everybody kind of adjust their shapes a little bit.
What do I need to adjust?
I don't know. I don't think you need to adjust anything.
Okay, I did work pretty hard on it this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Although I think I forgot to pencil in the change I made between the legs before.
You may want to do that then. Her hip pat comes out. See how there's this kind of triangle of space here? Andy, this will help you too. See, there's this
Okay.
like triangle of space from the top of the crotch to the center up to the hand. That's the hip.
Okay.
You don't really have that happening. See where it goes? You need that kind of level. Olga, this might help too with your shaping. These little triangles really show the hip above the crotch, right? Above the crotch. So the crotch is here, and this little triangle of shape is like, this is where the hips are. So if you can't draw this, and this, then you don't have enough space. You need to maybe move your hands up. You need to get your hips out a little bit.
Okay.
Leah,
Yes.
a very stupid question.
Ah,
You know how when you do watercolor, sometimes it's good to put your brush on a paper towel before you
Yeah.
put it on the. Do you do that before the color or after the color? After the color, right? Because the wet allows you to take the color.
yeah,
or-
yes, after. And I usually don't do mine on a paper towel. I'll do mine actually on test paper.
Ah,
so
so
that
I
I
also
can
do
sort of
test
see-
paper, but
Yeah.
sometimes
But if you want to tap it on your paper towel, it's after, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, although sometimes you'll want to, if you want to pick up a lot of paint, watercolor, right? You want to kind of load your brush with
Right.
color. You would actually tap your brush beforehand before you go into load paint onto it. It helps then if you have a tube paint.
Oh, I see what I mean. If you want to pick up thick.
You want to pick it up like a scoop of it. Then you would want your paint to be a little bit, but that's generally towards the end when you know where everything is.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody, go ahead and send me, just taking a minute to orient here. I'm so excited about this. I just think this is really neat. I'm so glad we're doing this. I was thinking, I've never actually painted, like taught figure painting, and I was forgetting how much I miss it. So it's going to be fun. And the colors are fairly simple. And this is a great time. I was just having a conversation with my student teacher, Emma, who is teaching little kids. We were talking about, she's a white girl, I'll just say it. And like, I was talking to her about how you talk about mixing colors. What I love about this color palette I'm about to show you, it can be expanded, it can be used for pretty much all skin tones, with little adjustments and slight additions. So our base skin tone is all the same. It's got the same colors in it. And then we just add a little bit more of one color or other to make it, to sort of adjust it. I am laying out the palette now. So excited. Oh my God, this is so awesome. Sorry. I'm so excited. Like, this is such a great, you guys are gonna love this so much. And we'll talk about brush size as well in a minute. Yeah, I guess we will want some of that. Andy and Pat, you washed in burnt sienna, right?
No, I used transparent red oxide.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Even better. Even better.
I did that because of Andy. Because you said that to Andy last week.
It was great.
All I had, so it's not like I made a great choice.
But I actually love transparent red oxide is a beautiful color in oil. It's like burnt sienna is nice and it's a good standard, but transparent red oxide has got more of the pigment, so it's darker. It's just beautiful. And I'll get mine. Hold on. So if you've got burnt sienna or transparent red oxide.
That's good because I accidentally got a really big tube of it.
All right, let's see. So we've got. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of the palette and send it over to you so you guys can see it. There we go. There's no rush on this. We're going to talk about this palette for a second. So everybody get your drawing to the point where you're ready to start painting. And because this is a small painting, I picked, yes. I'm not using my normal big giant brush. I picked a small flat brush. To show you in comparison, do I have a brush? This is like the size of brush I normally like you to use right at the beginning. And we'll try to do some that are a little bit bigger. But for this particular one, oops, hold on.
Green, blue.
See the difference? So I want a pretty small brush. I'm going to use this brush. I like a flat brush because I feel like it blends easier. I feel like a pointy brush. I do have a pointy brush for last minute details, but I think starting with something like this is really problematic. You're not going to be able to blend as much as you would like to. Anybody using acrylic, or is everybody using oil?
Well,
Oil, everybody's using oil. Excellent.
Acrylic?
You're using acrylic, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna try, there's a point, Nina, where something, the acrylic and the oil are gonna diverge in how they react to each other. And how because your acrylic is gonna dry really quickly, whereas the oil won't, but everything else should be pretty much the same. So I'll make sure to translate over to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I often have people not be able to tell the difference between my oil and my acrylic painting. I feel like everybody thinks they know, but but it's like because something has a, I don't know, certain thing. Yeah, look at how much space, really where you see how long-waisted she is where you see the space between her belly button, which is lined up between her two hands here, and where the bottom of her crotch is. Normally the crotch would be about here on a average waisted woman, but hers is really, it's significantly lower. And if you are done, if you feel like you're done, send it to me so I can take a look at it. Lines there. If you're done, you can set up your palette with these colors. I like a slow. See. One, two. Something looks off about the shoulders. Shoulders are, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Here, hold on. One, two. Oh yeah, your shoulders, her shoulders are up a little higher, Olga. Got them down here, bring them up.
Okay.
I'm looking, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the spaces between features. So I'm checking to make sure like there's enough space between here, between here and here. Now I'm looking down. Yep, that looks good. Legs look good. Yep.
Okay,
Good.
thank you. Corrected.
All right, so go ahead and pull out these colors. We have yellow ochre. If you don't have cadmium red light, you can use cadmium. Oh, sorry. Here, let me put them here. Yeah, the colors. We've got cad red light. I've sent you a picture so you can see these in better. You can see these in better form. Cad red light, yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, white, and then on the side here, burnt umber and burnt sienna, which are going to help us with our darks and our base. So you can, if you want to, and maybe I'll do it since Andy and Pat did it, maybe I'll do it too. So you guys could do it as well, which is to take a little burnt sienna or transparent red oxide, let's see right here, and do a toning of the paper. So you do that by using a little bit of turpentine. If you're using acrylic, you use water and paint. If you're using oil, you'll use Gamsol or turpentine. I've got some, my turpentine jar is like this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, in there. So you can see I'm getting my brush quite wet and I'm pulling just a little bit of color, not too much, just a little bit. See how watery that is? And I'm going over the whole painting with just a little bit of burnt sienna or transparent red oxide. See, Andy's and Pat's is prettier because I think burnt sienna is actually a prettier color. Sorry, transparent red oxide is actually richer, redder. Anyway, here we go. I'm toning it, which does not hurt at all. And I'm doing it very lightly. Notice there's very little paint. I can't see really any globs of paint. See right there, I'm spreading those out. It's mostly this thin, transparent glaze. I'm not trying to go too fast. You guys tell me. I don't want to, we're going to spend a lot of time on mixing. I'm going to spend a lot of time looking at your colors. Yeah. Pat, did you work on that drawing during the week?
I did.
I could tell. Really
Thank you.
good. I can really tell. It's wonderful. Your drawing
I was really
has-
frustrated with her upper body
It's because it's longer than you think it should be.
and straighter than I think it should be.
Yeah, look at at the beginning of the class, I was showing people how, all women are sort of straighter. All curvy people are sort of straighter than you think they are, and all straighter people are curvier than you think they are. It's just like, painting is really the mastery of like, how wrong am I? You know what I mean? About what I
Seeing
think
what's there.
actually happening, right? Like, wow, I thought this was going on, but it really isn't. So the value of this is, with the acrylic, of course, it's going to dry super quick. We know paint looks good in layers. With the oil, it's going to dry a little bit slower. But because we've got Gamsol mixed in on this layer, which is the only layer we're going to do that. Well, that's not true. We're going to do a slight base painting. But it helps. Doesn't hurt to have this base in. We know that painting looks better when we put layers on it. So when you guys are ready with a little bit of burnt sienna on your palette, and by the way, we're going to play around with different base colors. There's a couple I've been wanting to try. So we'll start with my old general. It's funny, in the last class, we were discussing about how basically my answer to everything is glaze it purple or use burnt sienna. So today we're using burnt sienna, but like, I'm going to try and like mix it up a little bit in future. Is anybody ready to do that first step, or do you want me to demonstrate this first step, or is anybody ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
All you guys ready. So I'm taking a little bit of Gamsol and loading a little bit more paint. Oh, here. I should be able to see the palette as I'm, hang on just a second.
What is Lenovo Tab M1?
That's the name of my tab. It sometimes will flip off Zoom if I move it too quickly. There we go. It's the tablet I use to
Okay.
to do my demos. Let's see. I'm gonna just flip this way. Yeah, so you can see better. Right.
Do we also need burnt sienna for this part?
Yes. So that's what I'm using. I'm using burnt sienna. I'm using my little brush, my small flat brush, and I'm going in the places where it's dark. So you'll see it's I'm going to leave the other places just, the way I've done them. I'm going to leave them kind of lighter. But it's the bottom of this arm and basically the whole top of this arm. Let's see, it's down here and up the side. There's a shadow on this side. It's kind of around this hand. So I'm still using Gamsol or water. And then down here, of course, that dark triangle of the cloth. And still, I'm applying more paint, but it's still fairly light. But it's definitely designed to highlight the darker areas.
And that's just
From sienna. Or
Nothing with it.
transparent red oxide, really. Nothing with it. Just
Okay.
a little bit of Gamsol.
Gamsol?
Just a little bit of Gamsol.
I thought that was against the rules.
No,
No?
not on this layer.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
Gamsol
I
is
see. We're
a,
still kind of on the first
we're
layer.
still on the underpainting. So
Yeah,
I'm just getting, there we go. And then it's a little bit dark under the neck here. Kind of the neck gets lost into the hair a little bit. Right, I'm getting some hair here. Notice I'm not painting every hair. I'm just kind of painting the hair a kind of darkish overall shape. There we go. And then let's see on this side. So I'm really getting in the main shadow areas. You guys will see pretty clearly. Yeah, this base layer we want to dry really quick. There's a little dark line in the middle. Notice the pattern, how it's all like kind of darker in any area that's, oh yeah, and then the face on this side is also darker. All right, we're done. Whatever, guys, you guys are right. Doesn't that look awesome? So here, let me take a picture of this. Believe it or not, the color is actually pretty good right now. But I want you to be able to see it up close. Toshween, are you here? No, maybe not.
Okay, I have a problem.
What's that?
My first layer, I put it on yesterday, but it's still not dry. And when I put this on top of it, I just turn it into white. So I'm not able to get the darker color.
Can you please take a picture of it so I can
Okay.
see? You obviously just maybe need to wipe off anything extra that's wet.
Yeah,
Maybe-
I tried that, but
You're just maybe not using enough paint.
Maybe-
Send a picture
maybe-
over. You're maybe not using enough
too much
paint.
Gamsol, maybe.
Yeah, that is most likely it.
Okay.
So I've sent you my green lady whenever you have time.
All right, I will take a look. Yeah, Pat, too much Gamsol. So take a paper towel and scrub it all off,
Okay.
and then you can layer more.
I'm just highlighting now, see.
Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I think she's looking pretty good. You move the hand up.
Yeah.
The arm, I'm looking at the arm. I still feel like there should be, hold on, I'm gonna grab the picture. I've got it here.
There may
There's
be,
a problem with the forearm on our left.
yeah.
See that? It's not thick enough. Here and here. See how? I'm gonna take a picture of this really close so you can see
Yeah.
it. And look at it, so you can really look at the.
Yeah, I have the picture, so I can.
Yeah, but look at it up close. Look at the relationship of one
have-
shape to
I have
another
actually-
to another.
I
So
have
look-
actually not looked close up on anything, so.
Yeah,
that's
so
my-
this is probably what you need to be, that's my suggestion right now.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
you're right.
looking at that relationship
Oh.
between,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep. Because everything that's on this side on that lady is much bigger and it's kind of thicker because it's coming
Yeah,
towards you.
It didn't come across like that when I have the full picture, but now when I look close up, absolutely.
Yes. So that's what I would suggest. Go over and
Yeah.
make the minute corrections that are going to make this look right.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah,
Thank
you know what I
you.
mean? Yeah.
thank you.
And you, of course, the painting is great. So your construction is really solid. So what makes that easy is, you'll be able to fix it fairly quickly.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I did not see that when I looked at the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Let's see. I know, right? Isn't that neat, Olga? Doesn't it look neat right now in this
Yeah,
phase?
it's so funny.
It's like so fun. Totally. Whenever, Diana, just in general, when I have something that I recognize as problematic or complex for certain wise, I always spend a lot of time constructing, particularly if it's coming towards me, because that's like, it's kind of like a punch coming at you, right?
Yeah.
Like you really deal with this first because it's so close. I'm not really highlighting that very well. Here, let me show you this. This is
And
what I mean.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, this is now more for the rest of the students than for you. So you guys, like, if I'm doing this, right, and you're painting me like this, or let me see, I want to move my arm away. So if I'm kind of going like this, everything that's on this arm is closer than this part of the body. So kind of using the general rule of drawing, a rule that's helpful is, wow, draw what's in front first. Because it's so big. Everything is so much bigger because of that. We will go to points where we'll deal with foreshortening and all of that, like in a more specific way. But it starts with saying, oh my God, it's coming towards me. I know it's way bigger than I think it should be. I know it's also probably shorter and squatter too. If you just tell yourself that, it's the beginning of helping. Of getting, oh, I think I know. Okay. 1, 2. Nina, you didn't fix your drawing.
I did. I erased it and I tried.
Do not see nine. I don't see 8 heads here. I see 7. 1. Here, maybe look. Let me look closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, honey, it's only 7. There's 8 heads.
Really?
Yes. I tell you.
Oh, okay.
8 heads. Yes, it's not for debate.
I can just make, okay, because I used my pencil. Okay, so do I just make her feet bigger now?
You make them longer. You don't make her feet bigger. You look at where the last head is and you try to you add an extra head and you try to extend the legs to fit that head.
Okay.
So I'll take a close picture of it so you can see what's in that last head. But yeah, you didn't extend it at all.
I thought I did. Okay, I thought I did. That's why. So I think maybe I got 7.5. So, and I thought it was 8. Okay.
So her legs need to be here where yours are, and then the bottom of the leg and the feet need to go exactly what's here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You can do that while you're at this stage.
All right. I don't need to erase it. I can just draw on top of it pretty much.
Yeah, you can draw on top of it. Exactly. That's right. You can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I was trying to get one of my friends to come to class today at Thomson Reuters, so I sent her the homework and she said, I don't think I'm ready. But I realized today was not the day for her to join.
This is probably not the day for her to join. Yeah. Absolutely. It better to take another day where things are, this is pretty, any other figure drawing class, I would say have her join. But because I think my figure drawing can get anybody from beginning to, anybody can do it if they're willing to try. But, and I think the steps are really clear, but yeah, this is definitely not the class to start. But good, keep on recruiting. We had a couple new Reuters people coming.
Reuters people. Hannah will come. She messages all the time and watches the threads, so.
She says she likes listening to the classes. Yeah. like a podcast or something like that. Yeah. I love it that's being used.
Yeah, we message each other all the time, so it's actually kind of cute. Yeah, she loves it.
I think it's great too. And I really appreciate everybody who is here today. I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing. I know it. And I appreciate your being with me and working so hard. Pat, I appreciate that you didn't leave us.
I was really close.
I know.
The universe is telling me something here.
It's telling you that you gotta go push through it. You get what you wanted.
Oh, she has a fat arm.
I mean, in this particular position, right? So, and it helps also, Diana, you can think about the hand and then the forearm and then the back arm and see how they are in relation to each other, how big they are in relation to each other, right? Like, and really that shape of the, here, actually this shape, I'm gonna send you, the negative space between the hand and where the arm, where the head is, really will help you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture. I don't know if I got that to you, but here, that will help too. I was thinking we might paint this lady next because she's big and cute.
Yeah, she is.
We'll see. I'll let you guys pick. We get to decide what we want to do in this class. Sunday class.
But it's very helpful to blow up. I don't know why I didn't do that.
You like to go quick because mostly your eye is pretty good, but you know, so do I. But you know, then later I have to pay for it. Like, why not? Like, whenever one wants to go quick, you got to pay for it later. That's the only thing. Pay for it meaning you've got to be willing to kind of try it again.
Yeah.
I thought we might try, you guys, another figure after this, maybe two, because I think these take about 2 sessions. And then maybe we might try a portrait. But it's up to you. We'll decide as we go along.
I vote yes.
Oh, that's looking good, Natalia. You know, Natalia, the features right now are not to be painted.
Okay,
Wash them
sorry.
out. Wash them out. It looks silly, right? Like you can't get them right, so don't bother. It'll look better, honestly, with just the sort of side of the face. We'll deal with the features at the very end. Trust me on that one.
Okay, I will.
Pat, that looks great.
Okay, thank you.
Let me, can you get a little, the only thing you're missing here, oh, sorry, it's hard to see this, I know when there's a little, you can use sort of the skinny, there's a little bit of dark here.
Oh, okay.
That edge of the arm. It's actually not so dark here. You want to get dark here.
More dark than I have?
I'm just looking to see. I think it's okay.
Okay.
I think it's in good shape.
I could make her bushier.
Oh, it's funny. There's an 11-year-old who takes the class on Thursdays with all the grown-ups, and I think they're Mormon. And her mom is like, I don't think Addie's quite ready for nude figures yet. Maybe next year.
Really?
And I'm
That kid will never be ready for it.
Actually, her mom
Unfortunately.
seems really cool. Like her mom, her mom seems very cool about it. But I'm like, oh no, I get it. 11 is probably too young. I think I didn't take Emma, her teacher, my old student, into nude figures until 13 or 14. Is anybody ready to start mixing the base skin color? You want to
Yes.
talk about mixing?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. All right. I'm going to move this over here. So we have a kind of light side, and then we have a shadow side. Let's see. All right, Nina.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. All right. right, that's great. Okay, so I have with me a paper towel and a palette knife. All right. One of the things I want to remind you about your oil painting palette knife is at the end of each session, and I'll remind you to do this, you'll want to clean it off with a little bit of Gamsol and paper towel, right? So that you don't get lots of crusty stuff. You'll notice actually I did not do that. So I have some paint that dried on and I had to kind of scrape it off before class. You always want to do that. All right, so the base skin color for most people is yellow ochre and red. Now remember, watch this and you're going to practice.
Heavy on which one? The ochre?
Heavy, that's a good question. I'm going to say heavier on the ochre, but it's easy to go too far in either direction. That's what I was trying to say. I was like, watch.
It depends. Give the
really,
lawyer answer. It depends.
Right, it depends. Red is really like strong. Okay, and now I'm cleaning off my palette knife. For me to be able to tell, is this a good basic light skin color? So if I want to darken it, I can add, you know, for a darker skin tone, I can add like burnt umber, burnt sienna. Okay, right, for a darker skin tone. But all skin tones kind of have this base to them. But this woman is fairly light skin toned. So we're going to start, I'm going to mix a batch of this. And then I'm going to test to see, is it really skin tone color by taking a little bit of it, pulling it down here, and then adding white to it. And you'll be able to tell pretty quickly. All right, so even though I said heavy on yellow ochre, this is a little too yellow. So I'm now bringing in a little red. So you're gonna have to adjust it to get a kind of peachy, right? She's slightly tannish, but like peachy skin tone. So it's a little hard to see, well, usually the color. So I'm gonna take a picture of this to show you how you're probably, yeah, it's still pretty yellow.
I wasn't looking. Did you mix those into white?
I'm going to repeat the exercise. Watch.
There's no white in that one on the bottom.
There is white in that.
Okay.
Yes, because there's no way I could get that without white.
Okay. So you added it into the one.
I added white, right. So what I'm saying is you mix this base here. And then to make a lighter skin tone and to check it, you need to pull some of that down and then grab some white and come over and mix, right? And most likely it'll either be too yellow or too red. So this looks a little yellow to me, so I'm going to add little bits of red in to my mix to kind of adjust it. That's looking better. So you'll see my first mix looked a little too yellow. This looks a little bit. So this is your light skin tone. Now, those of you who are using oil are really going to appreciate the oil process, because you can leave this, keep mixing this with this pile. Those of you in acrylic are going to have to keep remixing your base, all of your colors together, because they're going to dry. But that is just the difference between the way oil and acrylic work. So can you see, I'm wondering if I can, that's a little bit better. So you're going to start by mixing this base, and then you're going to add a little bit of white to it, and then adjust it if you need to. So I'd like to see your white skin color, light skin color. Go ahead and mix that and show it to me. I might as well show you this too. To do the shadow of any skin tone, here, I'm going to pull this off. Wipe this off. To do the shadow of this skin tone, I take a little bit of this, right, the base over here. Watch this for a second. This is actually important. I'm gonna take a tiny touch of ultramarine blue and mix it in to create a shadow color. See that? Now, if there's too much yellow in my mix, then I'll have my skin tone, this shadow will look green. It shouldn't look green, it should look kind of gray. So you'll want to add a little bit more red in here. This actually looks okay. And then if I want to lighten it, I can just pull a little bit of white here in to the skin tone. So see, I can have a shadow that's lighter when I add a little bit of white to it. So I don't know if you're noticing what I'm doing here. I'm kind of intentionally creating a shadow skin tone pile and a light skin tone pile that gradually get lighter. Right, once I find the base that I like, I can lighten it by adding a little bit of white. And I'm kind of going down that's why I have my colors at the top of the page. I'm mixing these two together. I'm using these here and here. So your base is just going to have little bits of blue, so it reads more like a gray. You're going to use blue in that red and yellow base.
Oh, you want to see our skin tone before we darken it?
No, I want to see them after you darken it. So we'll see how it went. Yeah, and then if you're having trouble, we can adjust it from there.
Okay.
Probably easier for me to help you adjust it than to, it's really hard to judge at this stage, is it right or wrong, until you start like throwing blue and white into it.
Okay.
So let's see, Olga. So Olga, what is this? This is your base?
Yeah,
And this is your light?
yeah.
It looks pretty brown to me. So I think you need more red and add more white. See, we want a tone that's like this. We want a tone that's this value. So keep going down and add a touch of red. It's looking fairly yellow and it's too dark right now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going. That's what I want to see. Yeah, it'll help me when I see you start to mix. Also, I see you don't have yellow ochre, right? Are you using cadmium yellow?
I have yellow ochre.
Oh, maybe it looks like a different, maybe I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think like the photo like doesn't correspond to the real colors that I have.
Do you have a yellow? What's this yellow up here?
No, it's from other palettes. The yellow
Oh, it's from
ochre.
other palettes. Got it. Okay, got it. Yeah, no, that totally looks like yellow ochre. So you see how light this is? Here's the base, and then here's how light this is. Let's see. Yeah, Natalia, it looks a little bit too, it needs to be lighter. You need more white. And also, I think it needs a little bit more red. Right? She's looking a little bit like that's looking like a little bit like a spray tan. She's looking a little bit orange. Looking a little bit like you know who.
Right, that might be mine too.
You want little bit, right. It's hard. This is why we're going to spend a lot of time here. We're going to spend a lot of time on this mixing because this is everything, right? Let's not scrimp on it. Let's see. Yeah, too yellow. So drift in, Pat, more red into that whitest one, little bits of red, and mix it in to see if you can adjust it.
Okay.
You might need to pull in a little bit more of the base, but really you want to add in more red. So as things look, trying to see if I can get a really good picture of mine. So you can see it's looking more yellow. And what might really happen is I might lay it down and still decide it's red. It's too red. In fact, I'm going to add a touch more red, even now. She's kind of a rosy, right? Like this is kind of a rosy cheeked. And I'm just thinking we'll probably just go through all the skin tones so I can show you the different variations of how to mix them. I think that's a little bit better. It's funny, mine tends to look more yellow than it really is. or maybe it is more yellow and I'm in denial about it. Or adding more red in just to see what will happen. That's probably too red. When you add more color in, you sometimes also have to add more white in. She's pinker now. Pinker. It's a kind of constantly adjusting thing. So you're gonna want kind of a ready pile. Yeah, there's no way for me to really get this small. That's better, Pat. That's better. You may adjust it a little bit.
Okay, I did some highlighting and shadows, more shadows. Are we?
Oh yeah, and you did a little fixing on her. Did you fix her hand?
Yeah.
Yep, I see it. I love it.
Okay, so I'm done.
You're done. Sign it and move on. Take it off the checklist, Diana. That's better, Natalia. Even a touch more red. So notice this big pile you're making. Can you see that I'm making little separate piles? So I'm not just throwing a whole bunch of color into, it helps me to kind of control my color. To take a little bit of the pile I've got and mix it underneath. See that? So I can kind of get throwing a bunch of color into a mix like this often is an act of frustration. You can't really get it lighter, you can't really get it darker, so it's better to take a little bit of this, put it here. Let's see. Getting there, but it still looks kind of beigey to me. Getting there. Let's see. Yeah, too brown. Yeah, more red and also more white, Olga. So more red and more white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't try to throw it all in the center, right? Pull a little bit. So if you have something you're struggling with, like here, take a little bit down here.
Okay.
Right? And then take some white or whatever other color you want to mix in. That will help you be able to actually shift the color easier. And now I have like a kind of variation of lights, mediums, and dark. You know, I have a kind of light, I've got a medium light, I've got a dark light. That's kind of useful. I'll work a little bit on the, I'm gonna work a little bit now on the shadow color. And as I said, what's really awesome about oil is that it doesn't dry. So see, we're still working with it. We're playing with it. We're like, you know, gosh, that's too much. Oh wait, too much blue. Here, wipe that off. I think what's happening is I need more base actually. That base is obviously way too red. Ochre. So you see, I'm not getting this right on the first go. It's not happening. It takes some time. Hold on just a second. I'll take the mix there. A little bit of blue. So the shadow is the base mix, red and yellow plus blue. And then you can lighten that shadow by adding more white to it. So it should kind of turn out to be gray. Let's see. Yeah, Natalia, now you're starting to get there. See, I'm battling with this over here. It's too kind of red, pulling in a little bit more blue. This definitely has the danger, the shadow color of going too green if you've got too much yellow in it. So that tells you to put a little bit more red. But see, look, I've been doing this for like 20 minutes before I've really, started to get anything. So just know, this is not something that's a short, it's not a short, there we go. I like that color. That feels a little bit more like what I'm going for. I might need a darker version here. Let's see. Nice light skin tone, Andy. Okay, so now take some of the, keep that in a pile, and then take some of the red, the ochre, and blue, mix that together, add a little bit of white so that you have a shadow color. Shadow color, and you want it not to be green. So if there's too much yellow in your mix, it'll read as green. You want it to be kind of more of a kind of mauvey brown color. Now, there are lots of different ways to mix shadow colors, to mix colors, skin colors. This is not the only way, by far. But it's my favorite way. I've tried it a bunch of different ways, and these are the colors I just keep coming back to. Here, I'll take a picture of this so you can really see it. Great work, you guys. So get your, I think this will work as a, dark. Isn't oil awesome? This wonderful reason. You guys, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna check with my naughty little beast outside right now. Okay. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Pat, not bad. Not bad.
When you say not bad to me or that's better, does that mean I should keep working on it? Or does that
You
mean...
might, it means you might want to adjust it a little bit, but it's good enough to get started.
Okay.
That's a really good question.
I never quite know. I don't expect you to ever say that's perfect.
Do I? Sometimes I say that though. I think sometimes I say that. I don't know, like maybe I don't.
No, you do. You give
I
X.
do. Okay. I try not to like. I was I do sometimes forget. Like I'm like, oh yeah, these 20 things are good, and yeah, I just go right to the thing that's wrong, which is terrible. Let's see. By the way, it looked like the pastel landscape was a lot of fun. Did you guys enjoy that?
Yes, very much.
Oh my gosh. Pat, Marie's become quite a teacher.
Really? She had just the one I took from her. It was probably a year ago. She had the makings of a good teacher.
I'm really happy.
It's amazing to think about when we were together, the difference.
I remember her in the first day of class. It wasn't that long. It was like 5 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. Are you guys ready to start? So here I have these colors. I'm not exactly sure, are they going to work or not? So I told Pat, let's test it and see, right? Because I want to test it. So let's see, I'm going to put these, I may adjust. So the other really great thing about, let's see if I can get everything in here. Yeah, I think I can do that. The other great thing about oil is that I can adjust. Well, it's true, I can do this with acrylic as well. It's just I have to remix everything. So I'm going to start. Now I'm no longer using Gamsol except to clean my brush. And I might want to use a touch. I want my paint to dry faster, or I want it to be more liquidy. I might use a little bit of Galkid-Lite. Oops, sorry, which looks like honey. Kind of, this is Galkid-Lite, which is also could be linseed oil. Galkid-Lite does different things than linseed oil does. Oil will make paintings dry slower, but you can also make your paint a little bit runnier. So I usually have like a small dot of this. Let's see if I can put it on. Kind of right here, a little bit of Galkid. Can you see that? It's this clear dripping thing. So I can get some on my brush. I usually like my paintings to dry faster. So now I'm going to come in where my darks are, and with mostly paint, so kind of thicker paint, I'm laying in my color. And now I'm looking at it and thinking, yeah, I could use a little bit more red in it. So I'm mixing a touch more red and a touch more blue, and I'm putting that right on. See how I'm kind of adjusting the color? I'm going over where I put my darks in burnt sienna. So now I'm using the consistency of my paint. Can you see it's thicker? My paint is thicker. I may have gotten a little bit too thick on the leg there, which means I'll go back in and fix that when I start working in my background. So I'm using my dark color to kind of get in here. Now, if you're using acrylic, my suggestion is that you should not go over the whole body. My suggestion is you should only go over a small area, and I'll show you why. Because now that I've got dark in over most of the body, notice I've not done really anything with the face or the hair yet. We're going to deal with that separately. I'm going to clean my brush with a little bit of turpentine. So here, I'm going to dip my brush in turpentine so I can clean it, or Gamsol. I'm going to squeeze out the extra with my blade here. And then once my brush is clean, I'm going to take some of my light paint and I'm going to paint right to the edge. Of where the dark is. So if you do this all over. And then I'm gonna blend. So let me do it in one area. So if you can see here, I've painted light in right to kind of the edge of the hip. You see how they're kind of looking kind of awkwardly? Now I'm gonna take some of the light color on my brush and I'm gonna lightly brush it into and over the dark. See how that, so that my, cat, God damn it. Hang on a second. Fucking cat, get out, get.
I think you're gonna have to edit that out, Leah.
Give me a minute. Shoot. Yeah, there it is. Okay, soothingly before I started cursing.
What happened?
Hermes jumped up onto my paint, so jumped up on all my paints.
Did you have to wash his paws?
No, I just got him out before he caused any more damage. He's in the apartment now. Muka's here. Oh, Muka. She will also do that, but I know. Sorry. So see how all of a sudden because I'm blending, there is a transition from light to dark, but it's less sharp. It's more subtle. See that? See the difference? And I can go back in. If I feel like I've lost it a little bit, I can go back in and add a little bit more dark right here. But the move is kind of a blending move. So if you're doing that with acrylic, you're only going to be able to cover up a little bit of area at a time. You don't have much time before your paint dries. So you can only do one area at a time. See, I laid this down here. I can come over here and totally do that. Because this is still wet. Right, so I can come back in here. So start with the legs.
So Leah, for acrylic, should I do the same thing and just blend it leg by leg?
That's what you got to do.
Okay.
You're doing the exact same thing. The challenge you face is that your paint dries faster.
True. Very true.
So that's what you have to deal with. You have to do little bits at a time. So you still need to do this exact same thing. I felt like I lost a little too much dark there, so I'm coming in here and kind of. So there's still a transition, but it's subtle. I feel like I lose it too much, I can go back in and kind of just blend the edge. You still want to be able to see your lights and your darks. Yeah, so practice. We're going to go back and darken some of the darker areas more later, but this is like your basic transition. I'm feeling like I lost a little too much dark, so I'm going back in with more. I'm going back in again to darken. See that? See how I can go back in over with my dark. And then I'm not going to bring any more light in. I'm just going to sort of blend the edge where the two meet. Let me take a picture of this here. I'm going to darken it just a little bit more. It's easy to kind of lose your dark. You can see I kind of did that here a little bit. So, but I don't want this really strong, sharp edge. And I want my light skin color. What really is happening is the light skin color is going over the top and blending over the top of the dark so that it's a more subtle shift. So I can go back over this a bunch of times and add this in. But what I really want ultimately is a little bit of that light blended over the top and then a softness. The light to the dark. Yeah, that's better. Still could be darker. I'm playing, you notice I'm playing around to get the dark, the level of the dark that's there. But once I get dark in, I'm cleaning my brush, taking some light and sort of softening the edge like I would with a cloud. So that I can see a transition, but it's not so chalky, jumpy. So try it with the legs first, because they're the sort of biggest. Yeah, there we go.
Dark is not dark enough.
So you need to mix more from your base with less white in it. You need to go back to your base for that. That's why I said I think, Pat, but I'm like, I don't know. Once you get in there, you don't really know until you get in there. You know? It's funny, there's a little
It was
bit
kind of a shock because there's a big difference on the palette.
Yeah, you don't really, well, when you start blending in the skin color, the light skin color, everything lightens a little bit. There we go. But it's really this, notice I'm back and forth, back and forth. Light. I want this, I'm doing a lot of tapping at the edge to kind of push it softer. There we go. My shadow is not as extreme as the shadow on her. That's okay. Your shadow can be more extreme if you're kind of trying to push it more extreme, but I never like it when it's that is when it's more extreme. I kind of like it better. Now, do I? Okay. Also feeling, I need to clean my brush again. I'm also feeling like my hip needs to come out a little bit more on this side. So I'm adding a little bit more to the edge. Yeah. Actually looks better to me. We'll see. Sorry, I was painting so much I wasn't even looking. Oh yeah, no, this is not, that's too, that's not really the, it looks, Pat, it looks blue and white. Is that just the picture that you took?
Oh, yeah, it's a bad picture.
Okay.
It was too white though. It was too
Way too white. So I would actually wipe it off and like start again. Here, I'm gonna take a picture of this so you can see, you guys can see how this looks. This is what we're going for. Right.
Oh, really white. It's whiter in the photo than it is for. Okay.
How's it going?
Yes.
This new monkey looks good,
Really?
Sandra. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think you got it.
Thank you.
Persistence. My God, woman, you are so persistent. I'm not sure how much else I do to it.
I'm not happy with the hedges on the bottom right hand side.
Maybe
I don't know how to
the
fix
bottom
it.
right. I was thinking maybe you just need a little bit of color in the background.
What do you
Ah,
think?
yes. Unfortunately, I've got so many hairs sticking out. It's going to be difficult.
Oh, Sandra's like redone this so many times. She didn't want to send it across the thread again. So she's just sending it to me until like I told her you're always allowed to do that, you guys. You can always send something just to me. She'll send it over when it's done. Right, Sandra?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. I almost feel like maybe a little bit of blue down here. Here, hold on.
Okay.
So
Yep.
A little bit of
Yep.
blue.
Yep. I've got
and-
some purple, but maybe it needs to be more
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah, I was just thinking sky blue is like a very beautiful.
Like blue outre-mer, you mean?
Yeah,
Ultramarine or-
yeah. Well, or like even like a cerulean or
Okay.
a kind of beautiful like turquoisey blue, you know, something kind of
Oh,
dramatic.
wow. Okay. Thank you.
Like because the colors are subtle enough that maybe this bright color will also convey a certain emotional mood too. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
definitely try
Or
that.
do your, you know, maybe it's yellow. You know, like
Mm.
maybe it's something.
I've
like,
got some yellow, I've got some purple, but it's still very pale.
yeah.
Thanks, Leon.
It looks really good. It's coming along. Your patience is being rewarded.
Hmm.
So remember, guys, you're always laying your dark on first. Your dark is always being laid on first, and then your lights, and then the blend over, right? Dark is on first, then light, then the blend. You do not start with the light. You start with the dark.
Yeah, I'm doing a toy animal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, that
For a
little-
friend or just for yourself?
No, I would never do this for myself. It's for a friend.
The
It's
child, presumably.
It's for, well, it's for a woman. It's her dog. It's a commission. That's my base.
But it's not a real animal.
It is a real animal, isn't it?
Oh,
A
That's
real
looking
one.
good, Diana. I love the base.
It's so cute.
So Andy, I feel like
oh, that one. Yes, yes, yes.
we need a little bit, your darks needs to be, your dark is a little too light. I know it's gray, but it needs to be darker. So there needs to be less white. So my suggestion actually, believe it or not, is to kind of wipe off the dark side and lay it in again. Your dark should be like this dark.
So should I be adding in a little bit of that burnt umber that you had on the palette as well?
No, you should be mixing something with less white in it. You should
Okay.
be mixing a base with less white in it. So really it's here, I'll show you. It's red, yellow ochre, right? It's this mix. And then it's blue. Blue goes in. That's the base, right? It's not so much white in it. You can have a little bit of white in it, but really this is the layer of darkness, right? It gets lighter when we blend the light skin over the top. So you see how the values, if I were to take a picture of yours and turn it into, in fact, I will. Let me see if I can do that. I'm gonna share it in my, I can share it to myself. I'm going to show you what this looks like as a black and white, and you'll see the problem. Yeah, Natalia, you're getting it. That's it.
Yeah, because I'm not sure, but it
Coming
feels
along.
good. But
It feels good. Yes, that is what we're looking for. So
Okay.
Andy, I'm gonna show you this. Let's see, I'm gonna grab this. So the thing about oil, you guys, is you can wipe it off with a little bit of paper towel and Gamsol and start again. Hold on. All right, hold on. Wow, damn it. Save the image. Now I can turn it into a black and white. So when I turn this into a black and white, I'm going to set it back to you as a black and white, Andy. You'll see the problem. See it? You can barely tell the difference. Yeah, Olga, it's too dark. Also, I think not really skin colored. So take your paper towel and wipe it off. Wipe it off like this, right? You just take it and wipe it off. See how I'm just wiping it off? Wipe it all off and start again. So your dark really needs to be like this dark. Then it becomes light. When we sort of brush the light over the top. So Pat, that is this. It looks kind of brown. I don't know if I'm seeing this color correctly. It looks brown to me. So your lights look too dark. Your shadows. You have the same problem Andy does. Your shadow color is too light.
Wow, and I just darkened it when you talked to Andy.
Well,
Okay.
look at it. It's like, look at it. Look at his, and yours are exactly the same. Look at them. You can barely see them. So you need to go back over. I think you need to wipe off and start over. Wipe off the paint and start over. Just take it, just like I just did right here. Take your thing and pull it off. Pull that off. That's the other nice thing, Nina, that you can do with oil that you cannot do with acrylic. You cannot pull it off. See, now I can go back over with light. So what you're missing, and what everybody is missing except for Natalia, who I think is starting to get it, is the soft edge. So the edge is soft. It's not this hard edge. You have to get the light. So let me show you how to do this with the torso so you see it again. All right, I want you to watch me closely. Watch me before you try this, anyone. I'm taking some of my dark and I'm laying it in here, this dark, right? Okay, and now I'm going to clean off my brush and I'm taking some of my light and I'm putting it in next to it. Right, like this. And then, only then am I brushing over. And then I'm cleaning my brush, getting more light. So that I have, and I can bring my light all the way through the dark. So here's where I can start to see how I'm blending over with white, cleaning off my brush, bringing more white in. That's what's happening. That's how this is happening. We start with very dark. and very light. There's a soft, smooth. You're both Pat and Andy, I would say you're both kind of keeping your line too solid. You don't have a soft edge between your light and your dark. Right, I'm not.
I don't
really
have the
seeing
right
it.
color yet, so
Yeah.
I didn't get the point, I guess. In blending before I had the right color.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, there we go. Then good job. That's good process.
So you didn't like the color either.
Did you like the color?
Well, I can tell that it's different, but I can see that yours is much, much darker. So it's almost, yours is almost as dark as my original base.
Well, yeah,
So I'm going to start over completely with a new palette.
I think that's a good idea. It's okay, this is really hard. Remember, figure painting is something, you know, this is not easy. So this will take practice, time kind of getting used to.
I always learn more from my mistakes than I do from anything else, so
Yep.
I don't mind.
Exactly. Soft edges.
All right.
Although admirable, everybody.
Okay.
Yes, a second, I'm gonna check on the other cat. It's one or the other. It's just unfortunately this class is too he's excited. It's been wet. And he is. Now, one of the things that you're not seeing here are the really dramatically dark areas, which I'm going to go back in and fill in later. Right now, we're dealing with the kind of major plane changes, the major shifts. When I see this, I was just looking at this and going, I need more light here, right across there. And of course, I need to get darker and more defined in this area here, but I'm not going to do that until I get kind of my base layers in. I also have this neat little kind of line coming through here. You, which I also want to soften, meaning I'm going to take some of my light skin color and blend over the top of it so that it's visible, but not so strong. There's a kind of wax off, wax on quality to this work. It's back and forth. You spend a lot of time going back and forth. Up, too dark. Nope, not dark enough. Up, going back in. It's okay if you don't get it right. You're just going to try as hard as you can. We'll keep practicing. We'll do this a few times. We'll do this as much as you want to. If y'all feel like this is too hard, we don't have to. But I feel like, and I want to let you know, this is really too hard for almost everybody here. So for your experience level, you're jumping in above and beyond your experience. So if that makes you feel better about it taking time, this is one of the harder things. Don't feel too bad about it not exactly coming out the way you want to, or it being harder to mix.
Hey, Leah,
Yeah.
can I make the lighter color by taking some of the shadow color and
No
adding white to it?
shadow, no shadow. The lighter color is made with red, yellow, and white.
Okay.
Remember when we mixed that whole pile of color that's like over here, right? Like, so
Yeah,
my shadow is
I was
here.
cheating.
Yeah, no, you can't. It won't work anyway. Yeah, you need to make a light that's light, right?
Okay, I do.
Yeah. I feel like, Nina, you've lost your light on. You're kind of. I feel like you're. I know you feel like this is a harder edge, but it really isn't. So I feel like you've lost your. I think you should go back over. Let it dry, and then go
Okay.
back over.
Well, I
Because
lost my legs and my shape, right?
yeah. So that seems to happen to you. So, right, like I noticed this happened and you can't seem to get it back. So if you need to, you can go over with a charcoal and
Okay.
pencil and redraw them so that you have them once it dries, because you need to be able to find them again. Find those shapes again to be able to draw them.
You know why I lose them? Okay, I actually just love blending the paint together and then I forget the shape.
Right, that's yeah, so right, I mean, so do whatever you want, but like if you want to get better at this, go back over and redraw. I'm gonna force you to redraw because I know you can. I can see what you do. I see what you can do. So you get to go back over yours, sketch it over with a charcoal pencil or a regular pencil, and find your shapes again.
Yeah, I know I want to draw better. So yeah,
Because you can't paint if you can't. You can't paint this stuff if you can't draw.
Exactly.
You can't paint it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a bigger brush also, which was not the right thing, I think.
Right. Yeah, right. Since I told you smaller brush. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you learn it. You live and you learn.
It's actually fun.
Yeah, right. It's beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, it's very peaceful to like go in and like, it's kind of a very gentle thing to do this back and forth blending. It's really, really nice. So you just want to make sure. I mean, the other thing is you can try, I just think you won't be able to trace it with the brush, right? Like you'll,
Agreed.
you should, eventually what you should be able to do is draw with the brush. So you should be able to find that shape with your brush. This light shape you should be able to find with your brush. But until you can do that, you should draw over it and get it back again.
Which brush are you using? Because,
This really little one,
okay.
little flat one. Are you using a pointed one?
No, I'm using a flat one, but
A
maybe
flat
it's
one.
a bit bigger than that.
This is the normal size brush that I'll have you use. Hold on. This is the normal size brush I have us use. And by comparison, look. See that?
Oh, okay. So mine is a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So you want a little brush. Let's see.
Okay.
It looks a little brown, Pat. So is this the shadow?
The shadow's on the right and the lighter is on the left.
Okay, so the lighter looks too yellow. So you want to add more red and white to it. And the shadow looks too yellow too. So maybe a little bit of blue, a little bit more blue.
Okay.
It looks kind of brown is my point. And it's
Yeah,
not
and
really
every
brown.
single one I've made is look kind of brown, so I'm doing something wrong.
So maybe take a little bit here. Watch this. Instead of trying to dump a bunch of color into your pile, take a little bit from your pile of shadow, pull it down here, and then try mixing in a little bit more red and some white. Okay?
Okay.
Because don't try to dump red into that big pile that you've made because it will just suck in all the color and remain this neutral mess. So
So
if
both
you're
piles need
having,
more red.
yeah,
Okay.
and some white and more white, and the white and the light area needs more white. Your dark can stay dark, but your light needs white, needs to be white. I mean, it needs to be this kind of creamy,
Human,
yeah, human skin tone color. And I did it with these 4 colors, so these 3 colors. So don't try to mix it all in. There you go.
I'm leaving you guys.
All right, sweetie.
Nice seeing you all.
We'll
Good
see
to
you
see you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye, Diana. Yeah, you're right, Nina. It is really lovely feeling to paint, to blend. It's very fun. But you want to make sure your dark and your light sides are very clearly delineated. See how mine are pretty clearly delineated? This is definitely light. This is definitely dark, but there's this kind of soft edge. It's not harsh. Even though it looks harsh, we want to soften it. It's like that sphere. Do I need to make you guys all paint the sphere again? But it is, right, Pat? You ought to know. You did that sphere a lot of times.
It's still hard. I keep wishing there was another way to blend besides that. Because I'm not good at that method.
Yeah, it's practice. For some people, I think it comes easier than others. Like they like the feeling of the tool, but it's definitely practice. For you to really be able to see how this looks, the difference between the light and the dark, let me give you guys, here, I'm gonna take another brush and brush in some background colors. I'm gonna just make it blue, mix blue and white together so that it's pretty clear. And then I think you can really see the light and the dark. Make it darker. See that? Can you see how the dark, See how the background color really highlights the light side and the dark side?
Mhm.
So that's what you're going for. It's very subtle. Like the body has lots and lots of ships, like a mini. I feel like you lost your drawing, Olga.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, so that's part of the problem. So your crotch is like way up high here, right? Or maybe the hands are too far down. Let me look at this and see what the best thing to do is. Yeah, look at where your hands are in relation to where this is supposed to be.
Oh
There's
yeah,
supposed to be a big wide expand, a big
Yeah.
triangle here. So I think you've got too much paint. Wipe it off.
okay.
You can wipe it down to the drawing. And I want you to start again. You'll get this, but you need to wipe it down to the drawing. Also, you have this is all dark and this is mostly, this arm is mostly light.
Mhm.
I haven't even got, oh, there you go, Andy. That's better. That's better. She's still looking a little gray, but I like the blending a lot better. Nice job. Nice job. All right, as we go through, I think one of the things, so Olga, I want you to wipe yours down and then maybe you can add this in, it'll help what I'm about to show you. Guys, so we need these darks to kind of help us clean up things. So, or to sort of help things come forward. It's like dark here, or here is quite dark. So I'm going to suggest we mix, oh wait, you can't see it. Here, I'm going to mix it here first. See it. Burnt umber and ultramarine blue. Classic dark, right? Maybe a little bit of burnt sienna in there too. So this is burnt umber and ultramarine blue. It should look kind of brown. Kind of a dark brown, like that. And then you're gonna lay that color. Here, I'll push it over this way so you can actually see the color. I'm gonna lay that color in on the hair, only the hair. Right? Not the face or the shadow of the face, but the hair. And then you can bring it in here, right? Where the crotch is. Because it's a little bit darker in there. So this dark should be much darker and more dramatic than the shadow on the leg. We're going to layer other colors in on top of that. But get that dark in so that you can see it in relation to your skin tone. So it's dark here, it's dark there. See how that helps things?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How much?
Right? It pops things forward. So it helps you. And so maybe those of you who are struggling with the values of the skin will be able to see them better if you've got this dark in. Now I can go back in with my mixing some dark here. I'm mixing some sort of dark skin tone. Right, this is dark skin tone. I can kind of come here on the face a little bit. I can brush in a little bit of light on the dark shadows. So I just took some regular skin tone and brushed it in over the top of that dark shadow. of the arm. So you see the arm is dark, but it's not as dark. Wait a minute, do I have her shoulder in the wrong place? No. No, actually, it's in good shape. Huh, funny, look wrong for a second. Here is my regular skin tone, light skin tone here. I'm putting that in here on the arm, right? Because this is mostly light on this side. And it's mostly light here. Then I'm brushing it over. So it's there. The darks are there. The darks are just not as dark as the hair. So that's right. It can also help to get in some background. You can mix a different background color. I think blue works really well because blue and white works really well because it's skin tone's kind of orange. There you go. Yeah, and if you're working in oil, just wipe it all off. And you're not happy, it's not working, just wipe it all off and keep going forward. Try it again. So I'm working, really what's happening here is I've got my light, just like we did at the beginning, right? I mixed my light and my dark. I mixed some light. I'm running out of light, so I have to mix more of it. And I'm putting that in the light areas. Face 2. See, Natalia, there's no room for face here. I'm sorry. Won't look right.
Yeah.
It's not about, that's not what this exercise is about. And then I'm going in with dark. Clean my brush out. And there's some kind of shadowy tones on the breasts. So you can see I'm going in and adding them. A little bit of a shadow in between. There's a couple spaces in the neck. The neck is really dark on the one side. The face is dark too, but not as dark as the neck. And then once again, I clean my brush off. I go back to my lights. And my lights get kind of brushed in, kind of up, a little bit over. It's all soft blending. There's very little. You know, I'm tapping kind of right over those darks. Now, it's true, I might lose some of my lightest areas. Those will add in next week. after we've gotten in our basic darks. But can you see how that's like, if I feel like I've lost, I went a little bit too far and lost a little bit of my dark, I can come in. Oops. We're not really worrying about getting detail of the fingers. So all of this work is not done with burnt umber or the darts. The only place where burnt umber is coming into play is here, is in the hair. This is all that dark mix, blue, yellow. And red. And then kind of lightened with a little bit of light skin color. That's why if you have a little bit of each, usually make things work. See also how I'm doing the same thing with the face. I'm not really dealing, we don't really have, please don't add the face in here. Just add the shadows of the face. You guys are not going to be able to make this face happen. It's too small. Trust me, you're just not going to, and you shouldn't. This is not what you're practicing. You're practicing kind of bigger, baser strokes. Until you can get the body, you don't get to do the face. You don't graduate to the face. So focus on these transitions.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we're not gonna do that this week. I'm just working on it. Yeah, Angie, try adding in the ultramarine blue and burnt umber dark of the hair, of the pubic hair, and the, I hope your daughter doesn't hear me say that on this tape, and the hair on the top of her head. Try at getting those darks in to really make your figure. I like how your blending is starting to happen. And I think it will really pop when you get darks, these two darks in here.
Got it. And then roughly like how much burnt umber versus ultramarine blue? Is it like 2 to 1, 3 to 1?
I don't know. You want it to look more brown than blue.
Okie doke.
Yeah, but you definitely don't want it to look just brown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're gonna layer, next week, we're gonna layer lighter colors on top of this hair so you can get pretty dark. Olga, I want to tell you how much I appreciate how much you're willing to correct. I really think that is the mark of a good painter, being able to correct, right? Diving
Yeah.
ahead. I know how much you want to dive ahead. I know it, believe me. And I appreciate that when you dive ahead and I pull you back, you go back, you try it again. You're really fearless. It's pretty great.
Yeah, but I
Actually,
tried it for the third time and still I have really wrong colors. And the problem is I have made like drawing with charcoal and now it mixes
now you've
with
lost your charcoal. What if you go over with like a pencil so you can see it better?
yeah, but the problem is my colors mixed with charcoal and became gray.
Oh, right,
So,
right,
so I will do it the first time, but maybe a bit later.
right, right. So you can't wipe it off?
I can, but I think it's like too much, still too much, and it need to be.
Try taking a little bit of rag and a little bit of Gamsol or turpentine and wiping the whole thing down.
Yeah.
Try to wipe it off and see. Yeah, unless you're really, this is really small. We're working really small. So that's part of it, right? Because I want to be able to show it to you. I want you guys to not focus too much on details. There's a lot of reasons we're going small on this one, but also what it means is your line, the mixing can happen because you don't have so much space. Try drawing it or work on something else if you're happy, if you've got something you want to work on.
Oh, I will just have her in like in wrong colors. You can see it like maybe it looks.
If you can get the values right, I won't argue so much about the colors.
Show it to you now.
Okay.
But she is like a bit of zombie.
Really a monkey coming your way again.
Monkey. Oh yeah. You know what, Olga? Why don't you put in a background and trim her back? Part of the problem is that she's too thick in a lot of places. Why don't you put in your background color and trim her back?
Okay.
Like the blending is starting to work, but put in your background color because right now the drawing is really bothering me. It's bothering me that you lost it. You know what I mean? So go back in, trim in her, and let's see what happens from there. I think you might be happy. I like your blending. I feel like your blending is coming along. Once again, this is the hardest thing. Sandra, I don't see it.
Oh,
wait.
Sorry, I forgot to press the last button. I do that all the time. Apologies. You know, the last thing that says send.
Right. Oh boy. That's some monkey you got there.
Really, you think so? I'm not.
I love it. Oh no, I'm happy with it. I'm super happy with it. Now I feel like you've adjusted the size of the head in this very subtle way. Yeah. I think, honestly, I think it's done, except for background.
So I don't know what I want to do background because I've got so many pieces of, so many hairs sticking out.
I'm just looking at her at the picture just to see if there's anything else I would do. I don't know, Sandra. It's really good.
Really, I'm a bit disappointed.
Looking at the pictures, why?
I don't know. I don't like the edges.
I like the edges. I think this is one of the best pieces you've ever done.
Really, I think the
Watercolor.
Frenchie was better.
Mm. I'm just going back and forth between the picture and here. Hold on, I'm gonna push the picture up so I can.
Shall I
see it.
send you next to each other?
No, I have it. Yeah, I have it now. I'm just looking. You know what this picture needs? You need to lay
What?
in some blues
Ah, yes, I didn't do that.
over the nose and over the nose and over the yeah, over the do you see the blues on the nose?
Now that you mention them, I totally see them.
Yes. So lay those down. And then there's a little bit more shadow on the white of the neck. Can you see that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Underneath.
Yeah, there's a funny shadow. And the reason it's there is because the monkey is sticking its tongue out.
Right.
So if you get that and you get some of the blue in, I think you're going to be happy.
Thank you. The
Okay.
blue being like ultramarine, right?
I'd say ultramarine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. I love it. Andy, how are the darks looking? As you get the darks in, how is that looking?
Send you a picture in 1 sec.
Okay, sorry, no rush, no rush. Pat, how is it going over there with color mixing? No rush, just checking.
I think it's not blended yet, but I may
You're liking
have
it
a better
better?
color.
All
I'm not saying I have a
right.
good color.
Listen, color mixing is hard. It's the hardest thing. It's hard. Let's see. Oh yeah, much better. Great. So now, yeah, so you want that, and the kind of dark that's on the legs, that's what you want up here too.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. Great. Good. This is always true about Pat. I shouldn't say this well until she's here, but she always starts, she pushes very far within a lesson. She goes a lot. There's a night, I like this. If you look at her colors from the beginning and the end, a lot of improvement. Super. Pat, I was just saying how this is really standard for you. You really pushed, you just really pushed forward from your first effort to your last in class. I always see a big jump. Well, that's a big thing. Some people can't push beyond their initial ideas, right? The initial way they're working. And you really are able to do that. It's hard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm still not quite used to doing something that doesn't have a definitive, this is good or this is bad.
This is because it's really hard. This is really hard. There's so many places to go with it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think I could spend 8 weeks on color and still need more.
Yeah, it's an ongoing thing. Listen, I'm good at this because I've been doing it 20 years. I wouldn't say the first year was good. I wouldn't say the first class was good. I wouldn't say the first 5 years were good. I would say I got good after. Nice, Andy. So Andy, can you now see that you need to darken? You need to go back in and sort of add a little bit more dark skin color into your shadow areas?
Yep.
So go on back in and work that in. And it really helps us see that. Not just the dark here, right? Look, there's like a, up here, there's a kind of darkness to the skin up in here on this side. It's not as dark as what's happening here, but it's definitely darker. So that adding that dark hair in should help you to see how dark you need to make your shadows of your skin tone. It's nice, isn't it, to be able to mix with oil, to be able to mix the colors that you need and not have them dry. I find it nice.
Totally. And is the idea that we're like putting in a layer now and like next week we kind of like get this from being so blocky to something more formal?
Well, the idea is that these, yes, we're going to get things more formal, but this is, yeah, there's one more session. We may not spend a whole session on it, but there's one more session on it. But the idea is that much of the figure is made up of these soft transitions. And there's a few hard lines and edges we're going to add. So we're going to start adding in details, little highlights, more details, but much of the figure is this kind of soft transition. Are these soft edges, and then we have a few hard ones. I was just realizing I made my arm too skinny, so let me. There we go. Nice, Natalia. That's beautiful. Yeah. Go ahead and soften this. You can see the skin comes down into this crotch area a little bit. It's not so blocky.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like you got your hands a little small. So try to get the hands a little bit wider. They just look tiny, right?
Okay, yeah,
So,
sure.
Yep. But really nice. Oh, good work.
Thank you.
Also,
I love you.
she seems a little bit narrow here in the chest. I would just extend out your skin color a little bit here. Let me show you what I mean. This is what it looks like is happening here. And I'll show you how different it looks. No, that's too extreme. Here, hold on. Trying to use like background to show you where it looks like you're kind of in like this. You're a little bit too in. Fan her out a little bit on each side. She's not as curvy as you think she is, and she's a little bit wider.
Okay, I can see. I see what you mean.
You see what I mean? Tiny bit wider. She's not so, but this looks great. Really good.
We'll correct.
Yeah, you got it. So Natalia's is really ideally kind of where we are at the end of this first session. It's not got all the finishing touches on it, but you can see it's pretty, you can see that you can get a lot done.
We should be doing the lights all over her whole body.
You should be doing the lights where the lights are. You should be doing the darks where the darks are.
Okay.
What would you do with an apple? You do lights where the lights are, right? And darks where the darks are. So it's the same with the body. There is light kind of drifting over the shadows, but the shadows are still the shadow sides and the lights are still the lights. She hasn't really done that much detail, is my point. I see. There we go. Finding myself to get the shadows in the arms on the light side, I'm finding myself using a very skinny pointy brush. Coming in here like this.
That's cool.
Oh, nope, that's down. Right? The lights still are light. The shadows are shadowy with a little bit of, I guess I see your point. The shadows, you can brush a little bit of light over the shadows because they'll blend a little bit. But you're not, I think it's a little willy-nilly to say putting light all over the body because you want to make sure your shadows are really clear and your shadow areas are there. So there's going to be more light. Yeah, but this is probably where we're going to leave it today. We've got another half hour, but I think I'd like to see you guys make sure you solidify to this point before we get any further. Andy, the last thing you might do is get your background in. around your figure after you darken. Pat, you may be at some point where you want to do that too.
And it looks like you're suggesting blue to start off with.
I'm suggesting blue just because the figure is kind of orangish, so I think it'll pop really nicely. But yeah, I wouldn't do yellow but I mean, you could do purple. There's a couple of things you could do that would look nice. But I think the blue really will show you kind of quickly. Make sure your brush is clean, doesn't have any skin color on it. You want it to clean it out with, if you're going to use the same brush, or I think I actually used a different brush, so I wouldn't mix with my
Is
skin.
that a cerulean blue or an ultramarine? Or?
Actually, just since I had ultramarine on the palette, I just mixed
Okay.
ultramarine with white. But you could use cerulean blue if you wanted to. It's just sort of what's convenient, right?
All right. Take a look at this.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Olga, see, that helped, didn't it? Just to pull it together a little bit, it helped, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did help a little.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Well, I was saying Olga, and now I'm looking at Pat. Yeah, Pat, so you've lost a little bit your light. So you want to go back in with the light, a lot of
Okay.
light, right?
Okay.
Or maybe what you want to do right now, Pat, is get your background in so you can see what your light looks. Right now,
Okay.
your painting still looks too much like your skin color looks too much like your background, right? So if you change your background, then it'll be easier.
Okay.
Yeah, so look at what Olga
Sounds like-
did.
Sounds
Good
like,
job,
yeah,
Olga.
you
Blending
did a
got
really
better.
dark blue.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Okay.
see,
I
you were
like that
able
dark
to
blue.
trim her out. I still think you lost your drawing, honey, and I'm going to work with you on that because that's
I
where
know.
you fall. That's where you fall, right? But because you try to rush through it. And the reason is you try to rush through it too fast. I don't know if it's because you don't like drawing or it's because you'd rather paint than draw, but I see you rush through the drawing all the time.
Actually, I like drawing, and sometimes I just do only drawing without like
Interesting.
painting.
Interesting. But I
when
feel
I like to do it fast. Yeah, that's
yeah. When you're painting, and also I'm going fast, so you're going fast with me, right? But try to pace yourself because that's where I see you fall, is in the drawing. It's not, and the paint, and somewhat in the painting, but the painting is much easier for you than so just know that and I know what you mean because I had to do the same thing. I absolutely had to do the same thing. And for the first 5 years, I was a shitty drawer, absolutely shitty. Nobody really cared whether I was good or bad. So see, I care whether you're good or bad. So I'm going to nag you about it, but I don't want you to feel bad about me nagging you about it. It's just because I care and I see what's happening.
But thank you. I really appreciate that. That's important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because you're bad. It's like just because I can see this one area. And it's the same with Nina. Nina, I'm going to push you on the drawing because I've seen you be able to draw. And what happens is you two get paintbrushes in your hand and then you just forget the drawing.
That's true. Actually, this is the reason why it doesn't work usually. Yeah.
Yeah, almost always. That's what it is. You get excited about the papers. Listen, I totally know. And then I read this article like fairly early in my own education. I read an article written by a woman who is a painter who said, I learned to draw by painting because she had no patience for drawing like me. I didn't really have patience. I didn't have the patience for the drawing right at the beginning. I wanted to get to the paintbrush. And then I would make the same mistakes all the time because I couldn't paint. And then I realized I have to integrate my painting with my drawing, right? My drawing needs to improve my painting. That made it easier. I was able to draw with my paintbrush, make my corrections with my paintbrush easier than I could with pencil. So once I started to do that, then it clicked for me. I don't know if that'll click for you, but I'm gonna keep on you, and don't think I'm just picking on you because it's just you. I mean, I
No,
keep
no, I
coming
know,
back.
I
Keep
don't
coming
feel bad.
back.
No, I appreciate you trying to figure out our issues.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep on you guys because you're coming to me, so I'm gonna keep on you, like something annoying.
Unlike all our friends probably who think we're amazing artists. So
Well, I mean, you can be an amazing artist, but I know what you need to get to the next step. Right. I'm not as interested in what you do naturally well. I'm more interested in what you don't do well.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
thank you. Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. So I sent you my
It did not add it. I mean, you lost your drawing too. So, but the blending is not bad. So the last thing I'd like you to do, Nina, is take blue and white and go into the background. I want you to raise the shoulders up to where they were.
I thought it was too high.
No,
Okay.
honey. No.
Okay.
It looks ridiculous. Sorry. You'll look and you'll see this makes no sense at all. It doesn't look right at all. Raise up. So I'd like you to go in and I'd like you to paint in the blues. I'd like you to retain. So Nina, I'm going to point to the areas you need to fix. You need to get this back. You do not have this shape here on this side. You don't have it. So you need to take your blue to reshape this side. You need to bring your elbow, take your blue to bring your elbow up, right? So go over with the blue. And then I think you're, and you need to reshape. Look at these shapes with the blue, right? To help you reshape your figure. But I like the legs. I like the blending on the legs. Yeah, and then just go around the legs and let's see what happens and see what happens. So I want you to do that before we leave this class today.
Sure.
Yeah.
I realize what you're saying. The acrylic dries too quick, that when you try to blend it.
Yeah, you can't. Yep, it's hard.
It's hard. I don't know if we can use water.
No, I mean, you can, but it won't be, I mean, it just dries. You can't re-wet it. You can't make acrylic wet again. You can't make dry acrylic wet again.
Yeah.
You just have to go over it on top of it with new everything. You just have to do a new layer.
Okay. Do you ever use like those matte glosses and stuff in your acrylic paints I don't know what that does to the acrylic.
I don't.
Okay.
I
It's like
work
medium.
fast. I just layer on
Okay.
top. I think you need to learn how to layer on top and to layer on top to correct. If you actually look at Olga's painting before she put the figure, before she put the blue on it, you will see that she actually changed the shape using the blue, right, Olga?
Yeah.
The shape. So if you will look at them next to each other, you'll see that she just painted on top and corrected. That's what you need to focus on. Is not trying to re-wet or try to extend the life. I mean, you could use golden, is it the opens that actually take longer to dry? There's a certain kind of acrylic that takes longer to dry, but it's still not going to help you. It's still going to dry too fast. Better
about
to learn.
They're mediums that's supposed to help.
Yeah, they're supposed to help, but the truth is the way you work with acrylic is to layer on top. Is to just layer on top. It's the way of working, right? Like if she wants to work in oil, she needs to work in oil and do the things that oil does. She needs to work in oil. Acrylic, you have to just keep putting light here and dark here, light here and dark here until you get it right.
Okay. I mean, I can't get to a studio or anything. We're still only opening up kind of today, like 10 to 15% for some stores. We're very slow in opening up.
Is that Canada?
Yeah, Canada.
By the way, Andy, looking great. Add your background in. Looks great.
I like Olga's quite a bit. The blue is really striking.
Well, I want you to look at something very specific with Olga, so I'm bringing it down. I want you to look at what Olga's looked like before she added in,
Uh-huh.
and I want you to look at the after. Here, hold on. Sending them over. You can see them right next to each other. Do you see how she thinned out? So if you can look at the two of them, do you see how she used her blue to thin out her arms, which had gotten too thick?
Uh-huh.
Do you see how she painted over to thin things? Did you see how she thinned out the legs a little bit?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
So that's what you have to do
Okay.
with your background.
All right. We'll try.
Try it.
Yeah.
Try it. Nice darkening, Andy. I think that looks great. I think your blending is really good. I think the mixing is still, we can work on that a little bit more, but the blending is so excellent. You're really getting the blending. I'm proud of you guys. So proud.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's not quite there, which is why I was asking, like I know with acrylic we can just like keep going back over it.
Yeah, we will go back over it, but yeah, that's, so now you're highlighting the trouble with oil. So we're going to go over with some stronger lines, a few more darks, some definitive things, but there's not going to be that much, which is interesting, as much as you think. And I'm going to try to decide how much I want you to add in the face. I'm going to really actually think about that this week because it's so small. Yeah, it's there's a kind of a softening. Yeah, Pat, I think that'll help a lot. Just keep, Pat, you liked that color that Olga put on, huh?
Yeah, I like the darker.
Yeah, go ahead and add it in. I think it's going to really help.
Okay.
Nice. Good job, Pat. Good job, everybody.
Good teaching.
This is really,
You know what? I might wait because the blue is mixing too much with the burnt sienna underneath it. So I think I'll let the background dry before I do the blue.
okay. That should be a day or two. I would do it before the next class.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can also do it now and then put another layer on.
Oh,
your
that's a good point.
on the class. So you can do it. I would just do it just so that you can see the figure. You can see how much you need to, what your skin tones look like,
Okay,
which you can't really do with the background kind of being the same color,
true.
right? I mean, here I kind of had her legs sticking out a little bit too much. So I'm actually covering it up with a little bit of the background, trimming it out. Yeah, so Olga, that idea of drawing with paint, you did it with your background. So you kind of drew with the paint, right? You did that with your background color. That's what drawing with paint is. It's using your paint to fix your drawing.
But that's so interesting, actually. And I was thinking about the drawing because I like to draw, but I don't like to draw a lot because I know that I will when I'm painting, because I know that I will ruin part of the drawing with paint.
Mm-hmm. You just don't know enough yet about what your drawing can do for your painting, right? You don't know. I think what's happened is you came at a certain level, like you've had a certain level that you weren't unhappy with, right? So you were able to, on some level, just kind of get by. And now I'm demanding that you do more than that. Now I want you to do more than that. I want you to push beyond that. I want you to integrate it. It's harder. It requires more concentration. It's more work. Drawing is really work, right? I mean, using the paintbrush is also work. I mean, I guess it's all work of a kind, but I think for you, it's easier to use the paintbrush than it is to use the pencil. So you're just more likely to skip it because you get to a certain point and that's okay. I mean, if you want to stay at the same place, that's fine. But I believe you don't. I believe you want it to get better. You want to get better.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to, so you need to spend more time concentrating on the thing that you it's just like anything in life. Whatever you're avoiding dealing with is going to come and bite you in the ass. It'll bite you in the ass. If you don't deal with it, it will like cause you problems. There's no putting your head in the sand in any of this, right?
Yeah, but it's not like that I'm avoiding drawing. I like
No,
to
I know.
differently from painting.
I know exactly what's happening. Trust me, I see it. I see exactly what's happening. I work with you several times a week. I see exactly what it is every single time. I know it. And I know it because it was very similar to my pattern. I resisted the drawing until I realized my painting wouldn't get any better without it. I wanted my painting to
I love the
reflect.
drawing.
Yeah, it's a kind of I mean, I do too now, but I just love the paintbrush. For me is just such a fun, and it's funny. I noticed even in my beginning drawing classes where I don't lead anything to painting, I usually get bored about halfway through and stop painting. The moment everybody knows what to do, I stop drawing because I'm bored and I don't want to finish the drawing. I'm not really interested in finishing the drawing if paint is not involved. So I like drawing. And I'm particularly motivated to improve my drawing if it's going to help my painting. But drawing for its own sake is not really my thing, even after all of this time. I mean, I like it. I want it to be good. I know it has to be good so that my painting will be good. It's funny. I guess you just have to figure out what motivates you. By the way, did you guys see that Janet Roberts' team won a Pulitzer?
Yes.
Every single one of those people has taken our classes, although a few of them haven't taken them in a while.
Really?
Yeah, Jamie,
Like
Andrew,
Lawrence Hurley and people like that?
everybody. They had all taken, every single one of them had taken art classes at some point with me.
Are you claiming
Yeah, I was.
responsibility?
It'd be very easy too. Would it be very easy too, wouldn't it?
Broaden their aspect.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm so proud of Reuters. Reuters really kicked some butt. And Gina is getting a lot of attention too, I have noticed.
Yes, that's
it's very
fantastic.
interesting. Like, I didn't really think about the fact that she is the largest. I guess we could talk about it since it's all over the news now. Since she's like the most influential trans media person. Like, she's got the highest position. I didn't know that. I think that's so
fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, it really is. It really is.
But they promoted her instead of shutting her up, hiding her.
Oh no, they were really great. I remember when she told me last year that she was doing it. And so she told me her name, the new name, and she said, I want to prepare you for this because I saw her in class all the time. And then Reuters sent out that lovely email, totally in support of her, right?
I didn't see that email. She herself sent an email, but she only sent it to higher up, so I never saw it. I
So
heard about
apparently
it.
Steve Adler sent out something really nice. And
I think he was a big backer.
Yeah, he was.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're friends from before.
Yeah. I just think it's great. And for those of you who don't know, Reuters had an editor who last year was born male, but who last year came out as a female. And a big promoter of the art classes, and Reuters just promoted her up to basically the second in command in the entire news organization.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, she was very much a contender for the top job.
Yeah, I know. I heard that.
But I guess, you know, there's some countries where that would have been made her life very difficult.
But
Like
it's
you can
also
imagine.
true that that top job really, so really she's kind of co-leading with that's how I look at it, the other woman they promoted. Because that job is impossible to do for one person. It's ridiculous. Like 2 or 3 people should do it anyway. Anyway, it's very exciting. I'm really excited. It was really exciting to
So did she
see.
get the award for her writing?
She
No,
has
she
been
doesn't write.
getting, no, she doesn't write. She's an editor. She's well above writing. She's like the editor, like the sub-editor in chief of the entire news organization. Everything goes towards her.
And she's like,
But she has been, she's been written about in every publication for being trans, for coming. She's the highest trans
media person. Yeah, she's the
media
higher
person, the most influential. She's in the most influential media position of any trans person. She's in the highest
the
level. She
States
has
least.
the most, right?
probably the world
I
because
bet the world. I can't. I don't know.
because I
anybody
don't
else.
think the others are much more into.
Right. And it's
France,
a very
yeah.
recent like thing. It's pretty neat. Anyway, she's been doing a lot of interviews, New York Times, TV. Lots of people have been covering this story. I just think that's awesome.
I'm gonna send you my monkey again.
Nice. Yes, please send me the monkey. Nice, Andy. See how much you can get done in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Oh yeah, Natalia, that looks great. How fun. You guys. Yeah. There we go. Just now, how do you feel, Sandra? How do you feel about the monkey?
It's better.
Yeah.
It's better. I hope I've done him justice.
You have. You have. Now you don't actually have to put a background on this color. You do
I
not.
can't because I have too many hairs sticking out.
Yeah.
There is a tooth that would have benefited from a background, but
Oh yeah, I see it. That's okay. Don't need it. You don't need it. It's done. It's done.
I'm just gonna put the whiskers inside it.
Oh yeah. Oh God, it's looking great. Wonderful corrections. Yes, you're correcting with paint. That's what you're doing. Yeah, girl. That's what you're doing.
You inspired me to do that.
Correcting with paint. It's wonderful. Are you guys like so? Listen, honestly, you guys, every single one of you, are you like so freaking pleased with yourself? Did you think you could do this at the beginning of class? No.
Nope.
These are great. Yeah, so Pat, you just now you know how to balance your lights, right, in your dark. So now you can go in, when this dries, you can go in and balance more your darks on your dark side and your lights on your light side,
Okay.
right? But wait till it dries.
Yes, definitely.
Wait till it dries. I'm just debating. Because I know Joe is going to probably come into class next week and maybe Catherine, I might revisit how to do this a little bit before we end up doing the final details and then starting on the next one. Are you guys okay to do a couple of these? Is that all right for you?
A couple of news.